Well, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds here because I'm hoping I am going live. If anyone is in the chat and can let me know if I'm live, then that way I can begin. Oh, I am live. Thank you for that, Ali. Thanks for assistance. As you can tell, this is my virgin attempt at doing a live unboxing on my own. So welcome to everyone that's joining me so far. Let me just have, it looks like everyone is, which is scary because I was hoping maybe they wouldn't, but you never know. So we've talked about this before on the DL44 network. Welcome to the DL44 network. My name is Steve3, and I am going to be doing some unboxings. I was supposed to do it as a coffee morning unboxing, but life got away with me. Supposed to start last week, didn't do it. Supposed to start this morning, didn't make it. So this is my afternoon coffee. Hopefully you grabbed one too. I'm going to be sipping on coffee and unboxing one of my Micro Galaxy Squadrons, and we'll go from there. So while I'm here, let me see what I've got. Hi, Jamie. Great to see you. I'm glad you're here because we can talk about something you're going to be getting. Bitter Asian dude. Paul Lee himself. Thanks for joining, Paul. I know you're a busy man this weekend, so I appreciate you tuning in. If you are tuning in, that's awesome. If you have to go, I totally understand. Ali, thanks for joining me. And let's get cracking. Then I don't have to keep looking over here and doing everything myself, which is going to drive me crazy. So, as I said, this is my inaugural start to something I promised I would do, which is do some unboxings of my Micro Galaxies, because I've got a lot of them, as you can probably see, and I've always wanted to get them open because I don't believe they should be in those glossy, reflective plastic prisons that they're in. So, got my coffee, got my setup, got some music in the background, just in case you get bored of my voice. And let's begin. Today, I am going to be unboxing, as you've already been given a clue, this beauty Battle of Hoth box set that was produced for Disney under the guise of Micro Galaxy Squadron. Now, I'm going to do a little comparison as well as I go because I love this difference in the box. It's not so blazing with Star Wars. We definitely have a Disney up in the corner. We've got our AT-AT and we've got our Snowspeeder and we've got an ATST. Or maybe I've got to say AT-AT and ATST, but it's always going to be an AT-AT to me. We've got some different figures, and obviously it's a different craft. So I love this set. A lot of people have said, why do you need another one? And by a lot of people, I obviously mean Ali. Why do you need another one? You've already got 3. That's right, but this one is different. This one is different. So I'm going to start with some slight subtle differences here in the box. Everything's black and blue, which I kind of like for this Disney one. And I'm digging the back of this one with the way they've laid it out. We've got a few more different things than we've seen on the other Hoth Battle Pack. So obviously they're going into detail with the extra pieces that we haven't seen yet, which is the ATST of its snow decoration. And then we've also got the other Snowspeeder, which we're going to get into later when we get this open. All of the functions seem to be the same, but again, this is why we're unboxing it, just to make sure. And then we've got our schematics or blueprints of the different craft. I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't have it labeled as Wedges one, but you know, it is what it is. The other thing I've noticed on these ones too is that even with the black instead of the typical blue we see on Micro Galaxy, I don't know if you can pick this up. Yeah, you can. You can see it's got this little design going on with it, with little images of all the different craft, the different symbols, and all the rest of it. And it's kind of reminiscent to what I've seen on some other stuff from Disney. You see that? And I don't know if this is going to be a Disney thing for all the different craft and stuff we get. The only reason I'm wondering is because I've also got the Hot Wheels Star Speeder, and that has the same design on the packaging all the way around it. And it reminds me a little bit of Hot Wheels, but we obviously know that. All right, without further ado, and probably very noisy, I'm going to just do a little comparison to the one over here, which is the Hoth Battle Pack that they released earlier in the year, which was a Vault exclusive. Only 3,000 made, and got us very excited for Hoth. And the AT-AT itself came with 2 snow speeders, 2 speeder bikes, pilots, the gunners, the snow troopers. Only 1 ATAT driver, and obviously General Veers. So what you'll notice the difference on this one is the typical standard Micro Galaxy layout. But the other thing that I was noticing, apart from the awesome artwork we always get, is that if we go back to here where we see that they just got the one ATAT driver, on this one, we get two, which is awesome. That's the way it should be. So I'm going to get cracking and I'm going to open this thing up so we can get a better look at it. Oh, toying around has joined us. Kevin, hi. How you doing? Oh, and I'm just reading here. I agree. I think the Volt Battle Pack should have come with the two drivers. So I did have something happen to me with the Volt one, just to detract for a second. I got two sets of the Rebels. So I got two of these in my box set. And I thought I'd give it a go and try and go back to Jazzwares and say, hey, I didn't get any Imperials. I was wondering if I get some Imperials. And they were good enough to send me those Imperials. So I do have a couple of different versions of those with the different box sets that I bought. So that was good. But now I have some spare pilots as well, which doesn't really matter because they're certain pilots. But I just wanted to point out that they are very approachable. And if you approach them in the right way, you never know what you're going to end up with. So it's worth a try. Okay, let's crack into this. I'm going to do this while you're looking at me. And then we're going to switch to another camera angle so you can see what I'm doing. But this is a big box, man. This is a big box. So I'm just going to take the majority of this plastic out. And then we'll get into the banging and crashing of the rest of it. Boom. Okay. Oh, I've got Anthony joining me too. Anthony, the Imperial Communique. Hey, Anthony. Good to see you. Welcome to my den. Happy afternoon coffee. I was going to take a sip of it. I'd just like to point out this awesome mug as well. This mug here are for some good friends of mine who you'll find online as the adventureeffect.com, and they do these awesome designs, not only on mugs, but other things as well. And I've had this mug for a couple of years now, and I love it because it's obviously a Hoth mug. Kind of looks reminiscent of some other stuff that I'm seeing out now, but man, these guys do some great work. Go and check them out on adventureeffect.com and see what some stuff may pop up that you might enjoy. But I think we'll have a different mug every week if I stick with this, and you can see some of their awesome work. It is a handsome mug. It is a handsome mug. All right, I am going to rip this bad boy out after I flip the camera. So again, virgin at this, not a professional YouTuber like some of my audience here right now. So no pressure. Let me see if I can flip things around here and get us to where we need to be. So bear with me. I'm probably going to go upside down, but one day I'll get two cameras. You never know. So here we go. You can see my beautiful 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back sweatshirt, and it's going to go upside down while we flip around. So bear with me, people. All right, how's that looking? Okay, not too bad. Can you still hear me? I'm hoping you can. And here we go. You probably got all the effects of all the plastic going on. So first of all, let's pop out our little dudes. And I don't know, we may end up getting a little deeper into these, but first of all, let's see what we got going on. So again, this is a special pack because we get Wedge Antilles and Jansen. Good shot, Jansen is his co-pilot and gunner. The other dudes, yeah, random snowtroopers, but they look pretty badass compared to some of the other stuff we've seen. The paint jobs on these are amazing, especially the details they get on the helmets. We'll get into that a little bit more. So again, this pack makes it special because we do get Wedge and we do get Jansen. So that's a reason why you need it, if you ask me. And then over here, as we just said earlier, you do get two of the ATAT pilots or drivers, as we know them. You get the ATST pilot, which again, paint detail is amazing, even through the plastic, and General Veers. So worthy of a new purchase, if you ask me. Now let's get this bad boy out because it's going to be loud. But maybe people like to hear this. I have given birth to the most amazing vehicle ever made, the AT-AT. So I'm going to put that over here for a second. I'm going to pop out the others, or not, as the case may be. Maybe this is why some people don't unbox them, because they're in there pretty good. There's our speeder. Oh, and I've got the safety belt, the little plastic safety belt on these. Luckily, I got my snips ready here. Okay. Get rid of these. Let's see if it'll come out. Look at that. Beautiful. Released. Now we do also on this one get the cable that Luke would hang from, as we got in the last battle pack. Obviously we don't get Luke, and we don't know of anyone else that dangles from him, but they have made this a poignant feature of the pack. So I'm pretty sure it came with every other pack, but again, you'll get your, I'm going to call it the dangly for today's show. And one last thing over here is our speeder bike with stand. So let's get rid of this horrible plastic, and let's get a look at what we've got here. All right. So there's our AT-AT. Here is our ATST, our snow speeder, and our speeder bike. I'm not really too worried about this. I don't think you guys really need to see the string of the dangly thing, but there it is. I'm going to put him to the side. All right. It is plastic ASMR, but you know what, Paul? It's probably better than me swilling on a huge jug of water and just really annoying everyone, right? That's the way I think about it. All right, let me just straighten that up a little bit more. Okay, good. All right, what do we start with, people? Anyone got any requests? As there are people here, what should we start with? Dangly string. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, well, in that case, if there's no... That's right, it was. What did you say? I could have done all the sound effects for the Poseidon adventure? Yeah, it was a big bottle of water, but you know, if people don't tell you, then you don't know. All right, I'm going to go straight in then. I'm going to do the AT-AT first because we want to see what we're getting on here. Now, first up and first of all, I can see that they've done a different paint job. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect anything super different to be with this release, but I'm glad they did do a different paint job on it because you need it, right? If you're going to release a craft, you've got to make it or even a vehicle, you've got to make it different in some respects. Obviously, we've still got the interpretation of snow on here, so we've got a lot of white paint dotted around, but I can tell you it's not in the same position as the other one, and we'll do a little comparison of that later. But first of all, we got battle damage that we didn't see on the other one, and we have a lot more weathering, and I love the weathering on these because it really brings out all of the details, like these little steps or little ladder that's on the side here, especially in the head of the beast. You can really see a lot more detail with the weathering they do and filling in all those gaps of the really well sculpted parts of this vehicle. It just looks so good. And everything again is just the same as what we've seen before. Very articulated. You can do whatever you need to do. Pose it in any position you want to pose it in. Very dexterous. Okay. So let's see what we got inside. And again, I'm not going to be too blown away, I'm sure, with anything in particular, but same thing in here with the seats. We've got the crane underneath for dropping down your speeder bikes. And then we have the control panels up in the back there, all which will illuminate with some batteries. We've got our driver section here, which again is something we've seen before. The coloring looks slightly different. And again, the weathering just brings up so much of these details. I mean, for me alone, just having this control panel in the back there with all the screens and the different consoles is just so cool. But let's not take my word for it. Let's bring out the other one. This is the AT-AT that they brought out for us on the original. So as a side-by-side comparison, I'm going to do the same to this boy. And we can have a look. Let's get these legs out of the way. As a side-to-side comparison, we can see, I think, how you've got a little bit more of the detail on this one as you did with the last one. I've got a little bit of distortion next to my down camera. They are not bigger than the others, but you can just see everything is standing out a little bit more. We have different panels highlighted. This is the button, obviously, but even just the surrounding areas just look a lot more detailed. The head alone almost looks like a different gray with the amount of weathering that they've put on it. Again, it's so worth getting it because now you got something totally different than the other one you would have got if you would have buy 2 of these. But the inside, let's just check it out, see if it is the same. Again, I can see the paint, even the paint coming in where they've done the weathering is just all over the back of this one, which is our new one compared to the other one, which is fairly clean and fairly, sterile inside. So again, I think, I've always heard it said that you can never have too much weathering. They're saying the paint reads, what's that, Paul? The paint reads much less on camera for this AT-AT than the Volt Pack. Oh. I would say that for me, looking at it, it definitely stands out, if that's what you're saying, more than the Volt Pack. Definitely see more on that. But the inside's exactly the same. Same color on the chairs. My dude's already in there. I can't see anything distinctly different apart from paint. So at the end of the day, we don't have a terrible amount of differences apart from a paint job. But we kind of knew that. Sticking with the one that we just picked up and comparing it to the original one that we got, we can see that how much of a difference the weathering makes. So again, it's pretty sterile and clean on the other one. You really can't see any more of the definition. Oh, we're going to test that out, Paul. We're going to test that out because I'll do some surgery and we'll get some batteries in this one. I'm just going to transfer the ones over. And the only reason I want to do that is obviously we can see how easy it is to put the batteries in and go from there. But first of all, let me just clear this because we don't need that. And let me clear this because I don't need that. Okay, we got new and we got old. So with the Volt Pack one here, battery should be in. So let me start her up. I don't know if you guys can hear that. What you get when you start her up is obviously the lighting up inside. So we have the lights at the top, which come through the very Star Wars S panel. And then under here, you can see all the screens. Doesn't that look absolutely cool? I love it. Lights and sounds, man. That's what makes it go round. So here's our sound fonts that we get on the original. We also have the glow, the red glow. I wish it would stay on longer too. This thing really does have a shutdown very, very quick. There we go. Now let's listen to our fonts.
Target maximum firepower. Prepare to target the main generator.
And that's it.
All troops will debark for ground assault.
That's run through of our epic point of finding the generator and blowing her up. So that's what we got on that one. And then just for those that haven't unboxed them or those that don't know how it works, let me do a little bit of surgery on this this giant mechanical dog. So our batteries are hidden in the belly. There, the jokes that Paul lays down about my giant jug of water were absolutely hilarious. I agree. But hey, it wouldn't be the same without someone tearing into Steve, right? All right, here we go. Let's take out these batteries. And again, apologies if I'm not seeing any comments. I'm hyper-focused, as you can tell. But I do appreciate everyone dropping in. I know Saturdays is a little bit difficult, but it's awesome to see you here. And I will definitely be trying to do this as a 10:30 PST coffee morning extravaganza. All right. I haven't dropped anything yet. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. It was hard to pass up. I did think about it. They also obviously made it a little bit of the FOMO when it got released because we knew we only had a certain amount that we could get our hands on with the release on May 4th. But I just knew I had to get it. Just knew I had to get it, man. It's one of those things. You just need it. And the other reason why I think I was able to secure my other package of Battle Pack with an AT-AT is I can now let my good friend Jamie Pale Rider, who's in the chat, get his hands on a 1 in 3,000 Hoth Battle Pack unopened from the Jazzwares Vault. Because I don't need another one of those ones. I've got this one to go with my set. All right. Okay, let's see who's ready. Let's see if this thing is exactly the same all around. Anyone got any bets? Let's put that in there. Okay. Which is a good way around to do this. I guess this is a good way around to do this. Wouldn't it be great if this didn't work? 3, 2. Kind of sounds the same. Got the same lights, but I'm still very excited. I love it. It's so cool. And again, before it switches itself off, we have the red glow coming from the front of the beast, which is great. Okay, sound fonts. Let's go.
All troops will debark for ground assault.
Oh, that's the end one.
Target maximum firepower. Prepare to target the main generator. Target maximum firepower.
Yeah, exactly the same. Same fonts, same lights, same scale, exactly the same scale. But like I said, different paint job, which makes it different, which makes it something you need. Because if you've got 3 of these stood together, recreating your diorama of one of the most amazing scenes that we ever got to see in Empire Strikes Back, of which we're celebrating 45 years, you kind of need it, right? It's going to be 3 different AT-ATs all lined up, looking badass. Just taking another sip of coffee there. Feel free to do the same. All right, good point, Paul. So how does the neck seal look? Well, it looks like it hasn't started splitting yet. And let's go in close. So on here, you can see if I push it towards its extremities, it does stretch it a bit, but I can't see any breakages rather. Other side, again, I can really extend it up. I can really see the parts underneath digging into it, but again, there's no breakages just yet. And again, this way, all the way, no breakages. Now, as soon as you expose this thing to air, it could degrade. I haven't heard, and I don't know if they have replaced the material they use for this. But I do have an example of what Paul's talking about. Yeah, Anthony, I think a lot of people's broke. And again, I think time will tell on this. I can give you an update once I find out, but time will probably tell as if this one's going to do the same. My Vault collection version of it, if I twist the neck right now, there you go. All the secrets are revealed. And it really just has dried out. Whatever material it is, it's dried out, exposed to air and heat. And that's what's been happening to a lot of them. I mean, you can just have the head tilt in that way. The other side is still got some signs of deterioration and starting to go. And I've had this one for quite a while, and it's been out of the box for quite a while. Now, that doesn't mean that this is why you don't take it out of the box. It don't think it matters. I think they deteriorate inside the box as well, from what I've heard. But again, if you don't touch it and you don't twist it, it's not going to be as bad, right? Interestingly enough, when they first brought out the AT-AT, which is this version here, I can see it's kind of dry. But at this point here, I don't have any breakages, but you can see it's kind of dry and there's some stress fracturing that started. But this one's older than the other one. And at this point, I haven't had any tears or breaks in it. There is somebody on Etsy who has come up with a TPU printed version of the neck seal, which is a replacement. I'm not sure if anyone in the chat or anyone that's here has heard about this. It seems like a good solution if you've had the break and you need to replace it. Definitely something which you could look into. And I'm sure if you've got yourself a printer and you can get hold of some files or just make your own one, it's something which you could easily replace it, take it apart, replace it, and go from there. I do actually, not promoting, don't know the person, but have seen it, but I will actually show you here what I'm talking about. So here is the old Jazzwares deteriorated rubber. And then on the opposite side, it's a TPU rubber. And the TPU is a flexible material that you can put into your 3D printer and print out many replacements should you need them. So I haven't seen any reviews on whether or not these last even longer and they don't end up with the same thing happening to them. But there is an option out there that I know of, which is this one. There could be many options now on. I'm not sure. Haven't done too much research into that, but this AB model making has definitely came up with a solution back in the day and seems to still be selling them as a solution. So if that's something that would interest someone, then take a look and see if that will work for you. I haven't played around with TPU yet, but it's definitely something which I think is going to bring a lot of fun for people who like to make stuff and replace stuff. All right, so that's our 8080 or AT-AT for those who know. Let me get rid of it unless there's any other questions or anyone wants to see anything in the comments, so I can show it off for them. Hey, DeSerto, Daniel, how you doing? It's going, man. I'm finally doing what I said I would do, so thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Probably seen this one before, and I do know that some people have already done this one, but man, it's one of my faves. It's the 45th anniversary. Got to get it out of the box. No point hanging around. So here we are. That's right, Paul. If I start experimenting with TPU, I'm probably going to print out my own neck seals. So we'll go from there. All right, let me move this one to the side. We get into something that's a little bit different. And I say a little bit because, as we all know, one of the main differences of any of these ships is a repaint. This one here, let me just make sure everything's in place. So this one here is our wedge version of our Snowspeeder. Again, same size, same scale, different paint job. Has all the same functionality. Our little back engine compartment here. The vents of it, you can just slide left and right and it will adjust your flaps for steering. We have our typical tow cable that will come out the back, allowing you to then roll it back in on your little dial here. If you're going the right way, unless I broke it. There he goes. Suck it back in. We've got a movable harpoon gun, so we can actually target the legs. And then we have a landing gear on the bottom for when you want to set this thing down. If you don't have any need to be flying it, you can set it down and it will be upright, looking sweet inside of your Rebel base. We also have a cockpit that will open to fit both of those figures that we were looking at earlier inside. Man, they even go to town on the detail on this thing inside of it, just so you can see all the little control panels and such. I love these ships, man. And I love what they do to them. It's so cool. Again, not a major difference, just a paint job. If we're going to compare apples to apples, as they say, these are the two that you got with the Vault Pack. So these two here were for our other troop of Luke. Obviously, we got Luke Skywalker's one here. I don't have a zoom control, so bear with me. I'm going to have to hold it up. So we have Luke Skywalker's very shot up snowspeeder at this point. Part of our Rogue or Red Squadron. And then we had you know what, this is a funny one. I don't know, people have probably talked about this before, but I don't know. It comes with the pilot and the gunner for the other ship, and it's down there as Zev and Kit. So Zev Senska and Kit Valant. So the weird thing for me is I thought that was the other way around. I thought that the pilot was Senska and Kit Valant was the harpoonist. And again, just by looking at the helmets. But I don't know, anyone else got an opinion of that? That'd be interesting. They were obviously the ones that found Luke when he was out in the Tauntaun belly with Han. They were the first ones to find him, and they were the first ones to go down on the attack of the AT-ATs. But this is their very monotone ship, and this is obviously Luke's ship with the red insignia. Now, let me pop that one off of the boring old monotone grey, and let's stick on this one here and just see the differences of them side by side. All right. So again, we've got Luke's on this side, Wedge's over here. The big difference I can see from this, again, is the paint job. Wedge seems to have a lot more highlighted white, as well as the red. He does have some scoring marks, carbon scoring marks from his battles, but nothing nowhere near as big as that huge blob. Oh yeah. Oh, look who we're joined with. Gary, Sneaky Zebra. Good to see you in the chat. Missed you at coffee this morning. I'm glad you can join me for this coffee break. Yeah, thanks, Theo. The stands are, you know, just a little bit of self-promotion. I've always wanted to get these things out like I was talking about. And if you're going to get them out, you might want to, you know, display them. So I know everyone's making stands and all the rest of it, but I wanted to get something that was a little bit more practical for the stands that were already, you know, fairly inexpensive and out there. So these are just typical figure stands you can buy on Amazon. And I've been going around and trying to rack my brain on how to make stands that fit each one of the ships, because not every ship at this point has the same connection point. Now, in the future, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll put a ball joint in the bottom of every ship and we can plug in. But this, to me, was my solution for the snowspeeder, and it just grabs the back of it. Again, with a downward camera, it doesn't really do a lot of justice, but you can imagine if this was led down or sat down on a bench, you would be able to have the craft in there. You can tilt the craft, you can position the craft, you can raise them up and down with the typical figure stands and just set them out in any particular way you want if you're setting up a diorama. So they've worked out pretty good. There's always room for improvements on these things, and that's kind of what I've been doing to keep me sane over the last few months. It's just coming up with different clips for different craft. But I appreciate that. There's a little bit of self-promotion there. Big up myself. But this is really just to show off the difference. Same ship, same scale, different paint job. But again, to me, worth it, because now we get Wedge and Jansen to add to our diorama and our setup. Let's see if I can get these boys out and get a little look at them in close-up. Okay, man, they're so small. These ones stay in pretty well. All right, first of all, we got Wedge. Now, again, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. It's difficult to put my fat fingers over these figures and show you what's going on, so I'm just going to put them into a little figure stand, which worked well for me. And we're going to take a look at this bad boy and have a look and see what we got. Okay, so hopefully this will work and we'll be able to gain a better look as we zoom in. So there's our Wedge Antilles. We can see his helmet design there and the paintwork gone into that. We got the chest box, the gloves, the boots, the side profile of it there. And then obviously we've got the ejection harness as well, but they don't seem to paint the crotch part of the ejection harness. No biggie. The details are there. It looks kind of cool. I do seem to have a little bit more orange coming through on this, like you were supposed to, for the bib to be showing there. So yeah, super detail for such a small little dude. Let's take a look at the other one here so we can see the differences they'll put into the helmets. I've noticed as well that some people have said that the legs and stuff are hard to move. It's difficult sometimes. I think it's just because they paint over them. So you just got to give them a gentle little wiggle on some of these characters and break some of the paint, and they should move pretty well. So again, here's Jansen. Oh, let me get closer for you. Sorry. There we go. Again, we've only got one side of the orange exposed on the jumpsuit. I'm not sure if that's just something to do with the manufacturing or what. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for dropping by, man. I know you're a busy boy. Thanks. And maybe we'll see you on the next one. It'll be earlier next time. Thanks for dropping by on a Saturday. Appreciate it. Again, look at the detail on that helmet. Those tiny little paint details. It's crazy because these things are small. Very cool. Very cool. All I can think of in my head right now is great shot, Jansen. Okay, I guess cut the chatter red too. I'm just going to do a little comparison here as well with our snowtroopers and see if there's any difference between what we got before and what we got now. So this is the one from the pack we got now. Again, let's see if we can. It's pretty generic. We've got our grey pants, our white knee pads, shoulder pads, gloves, and definitely the grey undertone, the bodysuit. The backpack doesn't have anything specifically detailed on it. But again, just think about the size of these things. They put some pretty good stuff into a mass manufactured minifig. At least you can see the eyes, right? I mean, that's the main thing. Now, let's see if I can do this to camera and get a comparison for the ones that came out last time. So it kind of looks the same to me in every way, to be honest. So it looks like we've got exactly the same fig, which I'd expect to do. Army building, etc. That's what you want to do. All right. Anyone else got anything else they want to see on our snow speeders at this point? I don't see any major differences that we need to highlight. The only other thing is just the engines. The engines on these originals were kind of like gunmetal grayed out, which adds a little bit of detail on the back end there. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the differences are just so unnoticeable between that Australian gentleman and myself, I'm sure, Paul. But again, here's Luke's, and the engines at the back with the gunmetal grey, and again with wedges, they are just the color. I don't know if anyone else has got this pack yet, if they've opened it up and had a look, but I'm wondering if that's just mine or if that's just the way it comes. They didn't bother with the engines. They went more for the carbon scoring. But that's the only other thing I can really notice on these two. All right. Just looking up to see what else we got going on in the chat. Can you guys hear the background music? I can. Is it distracting? Let me know. All right, that's me caught up, I think. You're welcome, Jamie. Absolutely, man. Just now trying to get it to you with that nightmare. All right, last but not least, and the only reason I'm saving this to last is because as of this point, I have not opened any of my ATST figures right now. So this is a good one for me to look at, and then we can do a comparison afterwards. So the other ones that we've seen have totally different paint jobs, as we know. But this one is all snowed up and banged up for Hoth. So it's so well detailed, again, with all of the bits and pieces that you'd expect to see on one of these little chicken walkers. And the legs have all the details on them. You know, even underneath, don't skip a beat. Blaster marks on here. We have our weapon here, our cannons for the front, which will rotate upwards and downwards so that they can shoot Ewoks when they get to Endor later on. Our little side cannons here also rotate. Now, what do we have for movement on the feet? Oh, everything moves on this. This is great. So the feet move. I'm going to say the knees move, and also the hips move. So you've got a lot of movement for this thing if you want to position it into any particular position. That's pretty cool. I like that. We have the head that swivels. And then obviously I'm thinking we're going to be able to open up the back. Again, I haven't opened this one yet. Oh, there we go. It goes from the front. So on here, we can open up the front to the back and then have a look inside our cockpit. No super detail in there, but again, the sides of them have got control panels and consoles, you know, which you don't necessarily need to do, but yeah, you do. So thanks for doing it. There's room for one dude in there. But yeah, I love this. I love the way that this can be manipulated into any position you want to do. You could dance with this thing. That's so cool. I love it. Now, again, I don't think I need to do a super comparison with these two or this particular craft because I know for a fact that they wouldn't have changed anything on it. They would have just done a repaint. But, you know, we've got our snow on there. If you can see the white against the pale grey, they've put snow all over it. At least I hope it's snow. You can never tell with nerds. Hey, Tommy K! Sorry, dude, I didn't even see you pop in there. I'm not even going to tell you to shut up. Thanks for coming. That's awesome. I'm going to so they can have a swig of coffee. Although it doesn't really help with the shakes when you're going up close to camera. Oh, damn, it feels good. What are we talking about, Tommy? Jam two dudes in where? Oh, the ATST? Okay. Yeah, maybe. I mean, this is what we're here for, right? I'll take that suggestion of investigation and let's find out. So it does give me the opportunity to check out the ATST driver as well. So I've seen the pilots. We could do a comparison, but I'm just going to go and check out the ATST pilot driver. And I'm going to see what he looks like first. Because they've really done the colors well on this, even down to the helmet. Let's see if I got a little stand here to trip him in. So one thing I noticed with the stands you get from Jazzwares is they have the same kind of waist clip on them, but you can't move the arms down on them. They're so big. So with these ones, I've just made it so you can recess the arms back in there and it holds them in place. Now, obviously, a black one may have been the wrong choice for our ATST driver because we can't see his boots, but look at the paint detail on that. So we've got the grey coveralls, we've got the black belt, black gloves, black boots, and a silver belt buckle on there, which you'd expect to see on any Imperial officer. We've got the green ATST driver helmet with the detail even in the back of that. If you can see that detail, there's a rod that goes up the back of it. Usually it's silver, but you can't blame them for not painting that, just that one color. But yeah, what the details? The goggles are on and the goggles are black. It's a great detail on that. Great detail. So let's get him out of there. And let's shove him in. So yeah, you're right, Tommy. There's a lot of room in there. It's kind of selfish just to be in there with one, right? But there's nothing in there to hold him in with. So he's flopping around in there, you know? So maybe he does need a buddy. Let me get him over there. I don't know if you could. I don't know if you can sit two next to each other. The pilot's a skinny dude. Or should we make him go ride in with General Veers? Let's try him with Veers. See if he can ride with his General. Again, I gotta say, the detail in General Veers with his rank badge is so good. I'm just seeing that Anthony says the blast marks vaguely resembles the stickers from the old Kenner versions. Yeah, they're kind of super exaggerated, right? Super exaggerated. Look at that. Even the rank badge is colored, which is pretty cool. You can see the blue and red on that. Very cool. Got the goggles up on that one, of course. Let's see if he fits. What have we missed out here? Has there been a Ewok? Yeah, well, they do the blind boxes. Oh yeah, Ryan just says there. The blind box Ewok with a glider. So I think they did the Ewok on the stolen speeder bike as well at one point. So yeah, we do have Micro Galaxy versions of those. All right, Tommy, just for you. It's a bit cozy in there, and I'm not sure what General Veers is doing with his hand, but I think it might be a little bit too uncomfortably cozy in there for two. Who knows? It would be nice if the top hatch opened up and you could just stick a Chewie in there. Not in this one, obviously. I know. Don't write in complaint. But for our Endor version, I don't think there's a difference there. But yeah, that would have been cool. So I would say, yeah, that's right, Daniel. He's using the stick shift. Oh, yes. I don't think I would put two in there. It would just be a bit weird. But yeah, this is why I love to bust these things open, because how do you tell all of this when it's inside that plastic prison? You look at it in the wrong light, you can't see anything that's in there. You got the glare coming off, reflections of everything. Gotta get them out, man. Get your toys out. Get your toys out. That's why we got them. All right, one last thing. Speeder bike. And again, I'm just going to quickly show you it because there's no difference on this. I've just checked it out. No difference at all. Paint jobs are the same. Colors are the same. If you don't believe me, let me just grab one from the other one. So this is our new Disney Battle of Hoth pack. And this is our Jazzwares 1 of 30 Battle of Hoth pack. Pretty much same beast. So really nothing to show off there. Now I've got too many of them. I think the one thing, if I would say I'm not super excited about, is the word I use, is if you were to try and put your, and again, they should probably come with a scout of some sort, but even so, they've all got the same. If you want these to ride these bikes, because normally you would be leaning forward with your feet on the back, and again, I know someone's going to be in there saying, oh, don't be so picky, but the only way that these dudes can ride these bikes is like this. So they look like, BMX bandits. have to do some tricks. So with the being on the back there, he can't bend the knees, obviously. So, you know, this is all you got. Still looks badass though, right? Can't complain. Can't complain. All right. Anyone else want to see some stuff? We don't want to look too deeply into the stick shift, but if there's anything, if anyone that's in the chat right now that wants to see something, that doesn't look bad. Yeah, you're right, Jamie. It doesn't look bad. It's just, you know, kind of weird. But they're going to look cool if you set it up in a diorama, I'm sure. It could be a lot worse. You're right. At least the scale's there for it, right? I think the other thing as well with scale is you just can't get it right. You know, a lot of people have said in the past about, I mean, I'm one of them. You're just like, oh man, snow speeders is just a little bit too big for the AT-ATs, but they seem to work well with the AT-ST, I think. And again, you can only go so big with certain things. You really can't overdo it with a giant size. And if you're into these small micro, you know, just cast your mind back to this bad boy and you want to talk about scale. If anyone remembers the Micro Machines Hoth playset, you know, this is what you got. So talk about scale. Got the big giant boob gun over here, got laser cannon, and this is the AT-AT that you got with that. So, you know, again, super cool, and we loved every minute of it. But again, you're not going to get full scale here. We're not making the movie. We're enjoying what the vehicles they give us to watch. Oh, Ryan, what ship is left for MGS to make this? There's so many, I think. I would really love to see a version of the Royal Naboo Star Cruiser. I guess it's a Star Cruiser. That would just look so cool. And again, larger scale. Let me just come off of this a sec. Again, talk amongst yourselves. Well, you know what, though? Before I do go, and this might help with the transition, one of the other things which recently got released, and it was out in Celebration when we were there, was the Micro Galaxy other version of the AT-AT, which is the sorry, I'm doing three things at once here. They're calling it the retro version. So, you know, a long time ago, and it's supposed to represent the AT-AT in the old Kenner days. And they've already done this one with the X-Wing, and it looked really good. I really liked it. But I'm not sure. So I'm kind of going to get your opinions now while we're here. And anyone that does tune in and watch this later, it'd be really interesting to know in a comment next time we get together. But I'm not sure. I was geared up to get it when I saw it at Celebration because it just looked really cool. And then they dropped this one at Disney, and it just looked, to me, like it was worth getting a hell of a lot more than the other one. But let's see. I've got a thing here which I can put in here. So here it is. This is the vintage or retro or, you know, back to the old days version of the AT-AT, which has just been released by MGS, and it's going to be available in Target. It's available now on pre-order. So it's one you want, then go for it. It comes in a pretty stylized package, which again is very retro and cool. I like that. And again, that's what got me excited when I saw that in Japan. Hang on, it's a coffee sip. That's for you, Jamie. But I don't know. I think it's too white. I agree, Tommy. That I didn't get around to that. I got sidetracked. But yeah, Luthen's ship would be very cool. And I was sad, you know, that we didn't get more of it. But yeah, I think it definitely deserves a ship. And who knows, man? Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we will get it. But look, what do you think? So would I keep it in a box? Paul asks. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely I don't know. To me, I just think, I mean, it looks kind of cool there. I like the difference with the stark white and the different colors. That looks kind of cool. But it is the same vehicle. It's very, I think they've gone for that old style plastic kind of look to it. I don't know. I honestly think that the original one that they bought out looked a little bit more like the vintage one we know and love. I'm just going to flip my camera while you're looking at that on the big screen. That might help. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the color represents retro that we know? Or do you think it's, it's just cool because of the box it comes in and the fact it is that color? I'm not sure. Mine's not made up yet. Right. So Tony Johnson says it's weird that the neck's so dark. And I think, let's get a picture of that. Let's go back. Again, if you look at this, it's white. It's white and black and white. White and black. Everything's white. Everything's just really white and black. And I think more so the speeder being white and black reminds me of vintage. And we know the figures were generally just like that kind of white. But yeah, the box doesn't do what the Vault collection boxes do. It's still just a cardboard and plastic box. I don't know. I'm really out. The jury's out on this one. If I want to get it, just I've never wanted to collect them all. I just want to get the ones I like or I need, and that's a lot of them. But the back of it, you see, maybe if I displayed it like that, maybe that would be the way to go. But yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. Sorry, I'm back. Let's go back to the neck. Oh, is that it? We can't cycle around again. Yeah, I think I like that. But it's very white. With the white background, it just makes it look very white. This part of it does remind me of retro. With the stickers where they would be in the colors that they've used, yeah, for sure. That is super retro. But man, I don't know. Right. Tommy says it's too white. I can see where they're going, but you're right. Look at that. It looks like there is actually a black next to it. I can't zoom in on it, unfortunately. So, maybe I do have to get it just to do a comparison. Maybe that's what I'll do and just have it as another version of something which, again, it's an AT-AT. I love them. They're great. They look awesome. So maybe I will just put it into the family and do a comparison. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. Daniel says, what was the name of that flexible resin you were talking about? I want to see if I think you can use it as long as you can get up to a certain temperature. I guess I could show that, couldn't I? I don't have to read it out. Yeah, I think you can, as long as your printer is able to go to a certain temperature and you're using, I think, like just a 0.4 head, I think you should be fine. It's called TPU, is the filament. It's a flexible filament, but I think you want to have it enclosed, and I think you want to have a certain temperature because it's probably a little bit stinky being a rubberish kind of filament. You got to heat it up a lot to melt it, right? But yeah, see if it does. If it doesn't, I think I've got a enclosed one, so I just have to bang out a few more. But definitely see what's around. So yeah, consensus. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to be having just to get it to do a comparison. Right, Ali? Yeah, you can never have too many. Yeah, interesting. I was so into it at Celebration, but I don't know now. I'm really not sure. Watch this space. But that's all I wanted to do today for my first outing, was just get this out of the box, get that done. Celebrate the 45th of Empire Strikes Back and get something else out of the prison. Going forward, I want to do more. I got a lot more to unbox. I got a lot more things to do. And I want to get some ships and design some more stands at the same time, as we said, and just see where we can go with that. And that'll be cool. So if it's something you guys are into and you want to watch some unboxing on Saturday morning, I'm going to try and do this a little bit earlier, which again, if you're on the East Coast, it's not going to be super early. But I want to get a coffee and do it in the mornings. Kind of reminds me of the old days we used to get up and watch cartoons. Ryan says, what are you going to open next time? And should Ali choose? I mean, we could get her to choose. Or you guys could choose. Or, maybe I'll just choose. But I do have some of the new ones out. That I haven't been able to open yet. And look, I kind of want to do something which haven't got an idea of the stands yet. I know I was talking with Paul, and there's so many of the ships that you can fleet build with, and we need to get some stands for them. Some of them are really hard just to put on those figure stands, so you'd have to do something more robust, which I've seen a lot of really cool stands out there that people have made. Kevin at Microfleet has just made some really cool stands that just hold up a particular ship. Yeah, I could definitely do the Striker. That one's ready to rock. And when it comes to the smaller ones, we can probably do a couple. So we can start working backwards. I mean, you guys have opened up a lot as it is, so it would be something which we want to see that's different. I want to try and get the U-wing with a stand. I want to try and get some of the other ships with a stand. One of the other things I haven't even opened up yet is my my land speeder. It's so small and dinky. You know, I didn't want to get it out, but we definitely have some fun with it. It's just something else to do on a Saturday morning. I don't get to have as much fun when you open it on your own, right? Oh, this is great. What do you think? It's not as much fun, but if you've got people in there to comment and appreciate the ships for what they are and the details that go into them, I think it's fun. It's fun. This has been fun. I've enjoyed it. But yeah, we can definitely do the TIE Striker. That one will be first on the list. Suggestion from the crowd. Ali just laughed. So you had your chance. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else we can do. Get some of those smaller ones out, and then we can get them up on stands, and then we can get them on the shelves, because nothing's really on the shelves right now. It's just boxes. Not to mention the pile in the corner. So that's the plan. Is there anything else in this chat? If there's not, probably going to end it. It's been an hour, man. I love this. Literally an hour on the dot. That's great. And now it leaves us to do other stuff. Give it a couple of seconds here just in case anyone's got a comment. It's weird as well doing this on your own. Got to admit. Talking to yourself is kind of weird. So thanks for joining me in the chat to get me through this this virgin episode. And I'm looking forward to doing more. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Ali. All right, I don't know how we do this gracefully. And watching all my friends who are professional YouTubers, there's got to be a way of doing it more gracefully in my book. But for now, I'm going to say thank you. Thanks for joining me. Glad I could finally get out there and do this. Don't forget to keep your notifications on for DL44 Network, because there's a lot of really cool people that are going to be dropping in and doing stuff Star Wars related on it. So yeah, we're not super organized when it comes to that, because they're all busy. We're all busy. But when you get that notification, I think it's going to be worth tuning in. It's going to be fun no matter what. So again, thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye on them. And now I'm going to do this thing where I just end the stream hard. No, now I am.